Coming up in this episode.
When it comes to vocals, I do think that there's an element of, I don't want to use the word talent, but I think there's an element of what you're given. Do you know what I mean?
There's a character to it.
Yeah, but when it comes to something like drumming, I think it's just the furthest thing from it. No one comes out the womb like doing this. The last drum show I did was like 2 weeks ago in Japan, and I said to DW, "Are you sure you want me for this?" And they were like, "We're sure we want you." I'm like, "But are you sure?" Like, I don't know about this one.
If anyone's looking to be a professional drummer in the current era, what are the challenges of doing that? And is there a way of doing that successfully and it will be financially viable, or is that very difficult to do just on its own?
That's a big question.
We're at B@1 Birmingham New Street, and my guest today is an incredibly proficient drummer. They're known for being the drummer of Ocean's 8 Alaska, but increasingly more known, I think, as being a solo artist and internationally renowned as one of the better metal drummers in the world. In fact, Craig Reynolds, the drummer from Stray from the Path, who is no slouch himself, describes this man as an absolute freak show because of how technically advanced his drumming is. So I'm so excited to have a chance to chat to them today about all things drumming. So welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
A lot of love for Craig. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, he is an incredible drummer, but for someone like him to be like, you're a freak show, that is a level above to some degree.
Craig's the man. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Thank you for the intro, though. That was very nice.
Oh no, not at all. I've been aware of you for a couple of years now. Initially from the 40-roll video.
Oh right, yeah.
And I'm keen to obviously chat about a bunch of different details as we go along. But I was wondering at the start if we could look at a high level about the idea that is drumming as a skill, I suppose, talent-based, or can anyone learn it? Are they born with natural rhythm and then they have some head start? What's your view on that?
Don't even need to finish the question. I'm over here like, no. Talent is just, in my opinion, of course. Actually, right, how in depth do you want me to go here?
As in depth as you
right,
like.
I think that when it comes to vocals, there is an element of what you're born with because your instrument is your body. Do you know what I mean? And some people do have voices that kind of don't sound that good, and some people have voices that do sound that good. There's still the same level of work. Do you know what I mean? Because when you discover that you have a voice that sounds good, and then if you discover that you enjoy singing, you got to have a lot of ingredients to come together. Then you have to hone in and work at it and develop it. But ultimately, if you're not born with a nice sounding voice, it's not like if we have a bad sounding drum kit, we can tune it or we can buy a new drum kit, you know what I mean? But that is your instrument. So when it comes to vocals, I do think that there's an element of, I don't want to use the word talent, but I think there's an element of what you're given. Do you know what I mean?
There's a character to it.
Yeah, but when it comes to something like drumming, I think it's just the furthest thing from it. No one comes out the womb like doing this. In fact, everyone that's good at drumming will tell you that when they started, they sucked. In fact, everyone that's good at anything will tell you when they first started doing the thing that they're good at, they sucked. I just think it's an excuse. I just think it's an excuse. When people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm not talented, I can't do that." I'm like, sounds to me like you don't really want to work.
Yeah.
But I've got that attitude of when I can't do something that I enjoy, I get really obsessed, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it, and then the day's gone. You know, it doesn't matter if I had plans. I'm gonna figure that out that day. Yeah. I tend to excel at the things I enjoy because I obsess over them. But similarly, the things I don't enjoy, I don't care about, I don't try hard at, and I will forever suck at. But yeah, I don't think the talent thing plays into any of it. And see, this is why I said you're gonna have to shut.
No,
you.
please.
It's getting me to stop. That's the problem.
Great.
I remember recently I went. My friend's got like this boat, the tow boat with the water ski thingy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and all my mates are having a go, and they're all falling in, and we're having a laugh. And then I jumped out there, and I didn't want the one with the foot straps. I wanted the skateboard looking one without wheels. And I was straight up on it, and then I was on one hand being like an idiot and stuff, and we were having a laugh. And I got back on the boat and the guys were like, "Of course you'd get up first time. That's so you. Like, you're just good at everything." And I was like, am I? I'm not. It's just, I've spent my whole life rock climbing. I've spent my whole life skateboarding. I've spent my whole life slacklining. I've spent my whole life doing all these things that involve balance and training. So now when I come to do something that requires balance, I've got a pool of knowledge to choose from. So I'm not starting at zero, but I'm not just good at stuff like that. I've trained. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hope none of this comes across arrogant because I don't want it to. I can't stress enough the things I'm bad at, I'm really bad at. Do you know what I mean? But it's, yeah, I just think the word talent is just an excuse, unless you're a vocalist.
Sure. No, that rings true. I mean, I know you've been drumming since you were 4 years old, I believe, as well. And
Oh, yeah.
for what we look at, anyone who is a standout professional in the field, especially in the like sports, like the younger they start and hone in on a particular sport, time in the game and trying to get better and better, they will be one of the best in the world. Like it's kind of an inevitability. But I think when it comes to a skill like drumming, for example, I would imagine time in the game is not enough. You could play the same stuff again and again every day. You're not necessarily going to improve. So is there something else you think that's a key principle in order to get better at drumming? What are other things you need to be mindful of to focus on?
Realizing that there's no end. Realizing that it's not like, oh, I'm going to learn this and then I'm happy. That doesn't exist. Not just in drumming, that doesn't exist in anything. You don't get the thing and then you're like, cool, done.
Happy forever.
Yeah. No, it's a never-ending upward ladder. And when you realise that, and you realise that there's always someone that can do something you can't do, and there's always something that you've never even thought about, that is the beauty of drumming, and that's what keeps it alive, and that's what keeps it fun, because you never complete it. You're just always having fun. But it's when people get comfortable and they're like, I can play the things I need to play for my band. I'm playing good every night. I'm getting compliments every night. I'm playing the set well, and they just kind of leave it there. That's when you stop developing.
That's exactly what happened to me. I was like, I'm good, and I was advancing it here and there, and I was like, I'm grand, and I lost time to put into it because I was doing studies and stuff.
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
and so now I'm like, my drumming's the same as it was when I was 24. I'm like, that's annoying.
Right.
But,
well, didn't mean to touch on those there.
No, it's just I resonate. I think that makes absolute sense. And what I also noticed, which is kind of interesting, is there's a mindset there that I think that's important. You have to have like a growth mindset that you get excited about. What is the next gap? What can I learn? Because I would see certain drummers who get annoyed when they see a drummer who's incredible on another band in a bill. Like, I'm like, well, you can either see that and be like inspired and go, I want to do that too, or you go like, oh, I'll never do that. I should give up. It's like there's kind of like this branch. You pick one or the other.
Every drum show I play as well, because obviously, like when I'm on tour, I'm with other metal drummers, so it's a little. You're doing more similar stuff, but every time I do a drum show, you're with all these different varieties of drummers, and every single time at the bar that night or whatever, 'cause you all go out, don't you? I say to all of them, I'm like, show me something I don't know. And it's my favorite thing, because you just learn all this stuff that you're like, oh, I would have never even took that approach. It's really fun. A lot of table drumming. A lot of leg slapping.
Do you look into anything that's beyond the metal world in terms of drumming to try and, like, do you look at jazz drumming and other bits and pieces?
I mean,
I
didn't start metal drumming until I was probably 12, maybe 14, something like that. So the first, the first lot of time drumming, I wasn't even listening to metal or playing metal. I think that's super important to have that foundation of everything. I say everything, you're not going to have everything, but to have like a solid foundation across the board. Like how else can you be your own player? How else can you do that? Like it's like imagine if you was a chef, right? But all you'd had all day, every day was one meal. Like, sure, you're going to cook that one good and you're going to be an expert at that, but how can you put your own flavor in there? You've got to try everything. You've got to cook everything, you've got to understand everything, and then you can draw from that and you can be like, oh, I really liked this and I really like this and they went together well, I'm going to do this, and that's how you get your own, that's when you're a unique chef. Same with drumming, like how can you be a unique player if you just do the one thing, Yeah. So having that foundation across the spectrum is so important. Yeah. And I definitely, do that myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Anytime I've seen with bands as well, bands that are unique, it's not because what they're doing is completely, devoid of any genres happened before. Usually they're taking some genres or ideas that seemingly have been separate and making it a new thing. Yeah. So anything that's unique is actually just a unique combination of influences.
Of course. Yeah.
I remember when I was starting to play drums and my drum teacher clocked, I love rock music. Okay, I'm going to teach you nothing about rock drums. You're going to do that in your own time. Here is rumba and bossa nova. It's like, oh man. But it helped me be a better drummer in other areas.
Yeah. It's like me with climbing. Okay. Like I like the steep angles. I like the thuggy army stuff. By army, I mean armsy. I don't mean like
Okay.
army.
Right.
That's what I'm into and that's what I'm good at. And it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, I climb harder and I achieve more when I do this. So I'm just going to go down that path. But then you just get eaten alive when you do anything else. So everyone says it, you got to go climb the things you're bad at. That's how you get good at it.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Did your dad teach you drums the entire time during your childhood, or do you have a different kind of coaches at different points?
Bit of both. Bit of both. Originally, my dad started to teach me. And credit to him, didn't push it upon me. Didn't push it upon me at all. He just let me do my thing. And then I went to see him play live and I was like, that's what's up. I remember he was line checking his kick drum and it just rattled my whole body and I couldn't believe that my dad had filled the whole place with that sound. I instantly fell in love with big kick drums. That was like, that's what I like, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, he got off stage and I said, please show me what to do. I want to do that. That's really cool. So initially he did show me upon my request, not forced. And then as I think I was maybe like 7-ish, that sort of age, I was getting a bit slack. You know, I was skateboarding a lot and it's my dad, he's at home. So he'll like give me stuff to work on and then I don't work on it. And then we come for our next lesson and he's all, I know you haven't worked on it because I haven't heard the drums. And it was getting a bit easy. So he was like, look, if you want to do it, I'll get you lessons. So that's when I got a drum teacher.
Yeah.
And then it got a bit more, I don't want to say formal, but it gave it a bit more of a structure that I sort of followed. And then that went on till I was about 12 with my drum teacher. And then I was just left to my own devices sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was that transition like? Did you then go on your own volition, like I'm going to get rudiment books or watch other drummers and dissect it and learn? How did your discipline change after that point?
Well, it was life changes, to be honest. So my dad actually passed away when I was 11. Okay. So that made it difficult to actually afford the lessons.
Right.
So that was one reason why it sort of slowed and then eventually stopped. But as well as that, my drum teacher quite honestly said to me, he was like, Chris, I don't really have much else to show you at this point. Wow. He's like, I've shown you everything I do. He said something along the lines of he'll be at home, like struggling to think of something to challenge me with, and then he'll be like learn it first, himself, yeah. And then he'll come into the lesson and I'm doing it in the lesson. So he was like, I don't even know what to show you at this point. So it just sort of naturally fizzled. It wasn't a bad thing. It's just the way it went. Yeah. And it wasn't an intentional thing either. It wasn't like, lessons are finished. It was just like, it just went that direction. But it kind of worked anyway, because like I said, I had that foundation then. And then that was around the time when I started to listen to more heavier things and I found my own interests and I just took it in my own direction then. So it worked well. Yeah,
because I think at quite a young age you ended up in Ocean State, Alaska. Like 16 or so, was it?
About 16.
So it was only about 4 years or so in there. You're like drumming, but it's like listening to metal, getting ready. And then you go, how did that band start for you? How did you join that at the age of 16?
Yeah, well, I didn't join it. I started it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, it was my first band.
Right.
It's bizarre. It's kind of bizarre to be like, yeah, like my first band is still what I do. Yeah, it's quite wild actually. That is. Damn, that's thrown me. Yeah, I mean, the distance between there and there, I remember I was listening to, I liked Linkin Park and I liked Limp Bizkit and I was like getting into the more rebellious side of it just because it was rebellious and fun. But it was when I heard Between the Buried and Me, they did a song called Alaska and I remember being completely shocked actually because I was like, at first I was like, oh my God, because it starts with no screaming. It's like a 30-second intro and it's quite technical.
Okay.
And I remember being like, damn, I know what they're doing. I understand the notes that they're playing. I understand what they're doing here. But this is clever music. But I've never heard it done in this way. This is all brand new. And then the screaming would come in and the blast beats would start. And I was like, that is noise. Yeah. And I couldn't manage it. But I just was so curious by it. I kept listening to the intro on repeat and I kept doing it. Eventually, I just left the song on because I'm not going to keep listening to the intro. And then eventually I start to be like, actually, it's not just noise. It stays clever. And then I was like, this is just so rebellious. It's so cool. It's like, this is clever musicianship in the most chaotic way. And I just resonated with it. And that's what started me off on this crazy little metal journey. And then that's when I wanted to play metal, and then I started the metal band, and Yeah,
On we go.
now I'm here.
Was there a point at which, or maybe a few different points throughout your career, when you noticed a kind of inflection point of awareness of like, oh, this Chris guy, he's actually very, very good at the drums. Like, you should come and do this showcase thing over here. Or did you kind of notice when, like, actually, maybe I'm becoming a peer of higher level drummers at some stage?
Still don't really think that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I don't really know how to answer that because I don't really think that way. For me, I just get genuinely excited. I get excited about the music I write. I get excited about the music that I play. I always question, like, why am I here when I do a drum show? I don't think like, oh, I'm here because I'm doing the thing. I'm always like, do they really want me? The last drum show I did was like 2 weeks ago in Japan. And I said to DW, are you sure you want me for this? And they were like, we're sure we want you. I'm like, but are you sure? Like, I don't know about this one. Because that was like this super high pressure, like, private event thing. And it was all the suits. And I was like, I'm a metal drummer. Like, but yeah, I don't know about that. I just do what I do and I enjoy what I do. And I kind of don't think that way about it.
That seems so surprising to me because I would have thought even, like, sure, we can all have our own imposter syndromes, but like on a technical level, you could understand how metal drumming is a visually and sonically entertaining thing.
Sure.
I do this to a high level because you hone it as a craft. You're very particular about being metronomic and speed power max.
I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoy that.
So like you could assess it, I would think, on a technical level. Yes, I'm at a high enough level. I can see that there is an interest, and that makes sense.
Yeah,
Even then, you're like, okay, you sure?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not blind to the fact that I play a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I play with power, and I play quite even, and I play quite consistent, and they're the things I pride myself on, you know, and they're the things that really excite me when I do a recording or I play live and I know that I just was on the money. That's what gets me really excited. But again, it just gets me excited. I don't think I get off the stage like thinking, oh yeah, I'm high level now. I'm just like, that was cool. I did my thing quite well. Like, I enjoyed that.
Well, I guess that is mirrored with the healthy mindset of growth. You're never going like, I'm fucking done, I'm the best. It's like, well, there's always something else to try.
Yeah, dude, always. And I just look at the other drummers on drum shows normally, and I'm just like, the hell are you doing? I could never do that. And that's why when we go out to dinners, I'm like, show me what the hell that thing was. Yeah, I don't know. It's just drums, innit? It's just fun. It's not.
It is. It's great fun.
We play drum. Why do you play drums? Do you know what I mean?
Good question. I've never thought about it other than it feels good and I enjoy creating rhythms for other people to lock into.
Because it's fun. It's pretty much the same reason for everyone. Like, there has to be a spark that makes you want to play. And 9 times out of 10, that's just like, mine was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has that, like, that looks fun. And it's fun. And I think that when you lose sight of that and you just like in all the other side of it and you forget why you're doing it, then you've kind of lost the whole point, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I take it quite that's the thing that I take seriously, is not forgetting that it's just fun. So, and
it sounds like, so is your genuine, it sounds like this is the case, your real love of the execution side of it is how close you can get to every hit sounding the right kind of level and making that work, rather than more I would guess more like a groove focused drumming. I mean, there's obviously grooves and some things you do, but it's about the exactness is the joy perhaps for you?
A big part of it, a very big part of it. Because, like I said, when I was getting into that metal phase, I didn't know this because I was a kid and I didn't know anything about production, but I didn't know that it was snapped to grid. I didn't know it was quantized. I didn't know it was replaced with samples. I didn't know any of this stuff. All I thought is, I want to sound like that record because I like that record. So I was trying to play that way because I you know,
that's the level I have to get to, because that's what everyone else can do.
Yeah, I was like, they sound like this on the record. I need to sound like this. So I just spent my whole time trying to sound like that, and that just never changed. Like, I love that. At the end of the day, drums, it's an acoustic instrument, you know, and you don't need to plug it into an amp, and you don't need to plug it into the mains. You can just sit there. So if there's an album I like, I want to play that album. I want to sound like that album. I want to sit behind my kit and sound that way. And that I do find that exciting. And a lot of that is based around consistency, isn't it? So a big part of the enjoyment for me is that. But that's to do with the music and the album, you know what I mean? And the feeling behind it. Because metal is powerful. It's very raw and emotional, and you know that also needs to be portrayed, in my opinion, to get to be correct for the style. You know, so that power is it's part of it, and I like all of that side. That's the side that I get very into.
Yeah.
It's not soulless, because I think it can be perceived as soulless. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not accusing you of saying
no.
with your statement a minute ago about like there's less groove, because there is less groove, and it is less of that style of things. But I think people can often think of that as like, oh, it's lacking emotion then. But to me, that is the emotion in the music, is like playing it that way. I guess I don't sell it because I don't do the headbanging and I don't do none of that. I don't spin my
But I
sticks
don't think
and
you
stuff.
have to, because I mean, first and foremost, music is an audio thing to enjoy.
Yeah.
Like the visual is can be an extra part to it, but yeah, I can see how on the surface of it, something that's very even in volume on equal hits and busyness can be a bit like, well, that's just kind of one note. And
But that's the thing we're trying to do.
Sure, but
Yeah.
even with that though, it depends on the band and the writing and the point they're trying to do. There's some songs where like there's a whole bunch of interesting parts going on, and then at the end in the crescendo they then transition to blast beats, like but that makes sense there, and then you go like, this is now this other thing, there's a fever pitch. That's where the emotion comes in a way.
Yeah, it's just a different dynamic. It's all generally higher level dynamic, you know, but there's still plenty of dynamic within it. It's just here instead of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't really know where I'm going with that one.
No, I think because there's another thing I wanted to chat about is cymbals, because actually I think when it comes to drumming, people they don't actually spend that much time thinking about cymbals at all. It's like, what are your double kicks like? What's your snare work like? What are your fills like?
Yeah.
But there's so much ear candy to be had with cymbal work, and I think they're often overlooked. And you've got a variety within your kit. You've got those like this. These cymbals seem to come about after I'd kind of started coasting and drumming, but like these little stacks where you hit it just goes, and that's kind of it. I've played on a kit where those exist, expecting a splashy cymbal, and had it. I'm like, what? Did I break it? How much are you thinking about the variety of sounds you can incorporate and when specifically to put them?
I mean, that at the end of the day, a lot of people forget that a drum kit is a musical instrument. Like, people often are like, oh, it's percussive. Hit the thing, make the sound. It's like, it goes a lot deeper than that. It is a musical instrument, and you have to view it as a musical instrument. And you need long sounds, you need medium sounds, you need short sounds, you need low, you need high. You need to incorporate everything to make it a musical piece of drumming. So yeah, the little stacks and things like that, they serve a massive purpose to my playing, and the musicality of the playing. It's very, very important.
Do you front load it in writing? Is the writing phase of the composition the important bit? Because then it's about executing that vision as close as you can.
Yeah, I do want to say that it's not all just like play, learn, repeat, do it, no change. Like, it's not like that. There's very surgical moments in our music and in the music I play where like you have to marry this kick pattern to this rhythm because that is the thing.
It locks in with the guitar.
Yeah. So there are definitely places where it's like, you've got to do this, because otherwise you're just not really playing the song, you're just playing whatever. But then there are also plenty of moments where it's like, this is just kind of the loose thing and you can do other stuff. You know, it's not all just like repeat exactly.
So when you're playing live, you might get to a point where like, I'm going to just freestyle and fill around here into the chorus.
Yeah, there's plenty of points where I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this. And then there's plenty of points where I'm like, right, you have to do it exactly. And so I do just want to stress, it's not like, it isn't just the thing, it's both things. But yeah, your question, I'm so sorry, it was about composition.
Yeah, it was like, are you front loading the composition to design what the drums are going to be and sound like, and then try and get as close to that as possible in the performance, as opposed to having some tent poles throughout the song, like this is key, and then between that, it depends on the day or the venue or expression. Like how much are you, I guess.
Yeah, I think I answered it and then forgot the question.
That's okay, yeah.
And now I'm going to re-answer it. It's both.
Because when you're playing, you look so locked in. You kind of have to be to do some of the very technical, especially the busy stuff, and make sure that if you're playing a live set, you are budgeting energy for the whole thing.
I don't really think about budgeting energy all that much. That's interesting.
Is that because the technique will take you through that, or
just because I've never had an issue with it. So it's not a thing.
Naively not being able to play as fast and strong as you. I'm like, how could you do that for like 10 songs in a row without going, right, I'm going to lock in hard for this particular section,
I wish
and
it
then I'm
was
going to chill.
the last shows we were doing, it was 14 song set.
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't. Honestly, I don't think about it. It's never been an issue, so I've not had to think about it.
I'm thinking, by the way, just not
Yeah.
just purely physically, but also
Yeah.
mentally, because
No.
the execution. I guess if you know the songs well enough, there must be some muscle memory.
Yeah,
Perhaps,
I
can you take in the crowd and the environment as you're doing it, or does it depend on the section?
take in the crowd in between songs, because like you said, I go into that hyper focus state, which I didn't realize until more recently, anyway, how focused I get. Because like if I'm practicing on like my pad or something, and someone comes in the room, I won't notice them until they say something, and then I actually shit myself, and I'll be like, "Where the fuck did you come from?"
Yeah.
And I was talking to some friends of mine, and they were talking about how they really want to achieve flow state, and how they've been meditating and trying to get to flow state. And I didn't really understand what they were talking about, but that's where I go when I drum. I'm completely in a different universe. I am in the click. I'm in it. And nothing else exists. And like, for me, that is the ultimate state of like peace and joy. And it's just the best. So I know that I look a little weird and whatever. I just don't care. I do though, but I don't care. I'm just like,
every drummer looks weird.
That is me locked in and having the most fun ever. I might not look like I'm having the most fun, but I am.
It's a different universe.
I'm literally gone.
Yeah.
I'm in a different place altogether. But yeah, I still take the shows in, especially if something wild happens or if I'm interacting with someone. It's fun to have those moments, isn't it? But normally it's between songs. But yeah, dude, the endurance side of it, and I think because I've been doing it for so long, you know, I figured out recently that I've played over 1,000 shows. Okay, it's a weird number to say, but it's true. I mean, I think it was 2018. We were touring, or 2017 or 2018. We were touring like 8 months a year. We were doing like, I think one year we did over 200 shows that year.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then you look at over the decade I've been doing this, it's like, oh, I've actually played over 1,000 shows.
That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah, but when you start to play that, and that's just with Oceans, irrelevant of all the solo shows, the drum shows, but and the other bands that I play with. But like when you start getting to that point, the endurance is so like deep rooted in muscle memory that I've honestly not thought about that. I just try, like I said, I just try to enjoy it in between the songs because I'm enjoying the drumming during, and then in between, that's when I have my little bits of fun. Grab a beer, whatever.
Why? At what point did you decide, or what was the inspiration to go like, I'm going to now dip my toe into the digital social world of like drumming and doing your own videos? Was there an impetus that went, this would be another fun angle to kind of try?
Yeah, I mean, that was just COVID. I was quite resistant to it. I can't really explain why I was resistant to it because it's not a bad thing. It's a cool thing. I think it was just like scary because when you don't have the friends and the hookups. I've got the friends and the hookups now, but in the initial days, I'm like, I don't have a drum room. I don't have a drum studio. I don't have mics. I don't know how to engineer. I need it mixed. I don't have cameras. I don't have lights. So to shoot a drum video was the hugest task. And I know it's kind of different now because it's easier to shoot things from home and do production from home. But in the early days for me, I was like, okay, a studio for the day is £350. Mix engineer per song at the time was like £500 a song. To rent a camera guy with his lights and stuff and have him edit the video, you're looking at £500 per song. And you start putting it all together. And I was like, what? To make £50 back on a YouTube video? I was like, I think it's not that I was resistant to the idea of it, but I was just resistant to doing it because I just didn't understand why that would be good. But now I'm at a point where like, I'm actually on, like put it this way, I'm recording Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And actually, no, Wednesday didn't go through. I'm recording Monday, Tuesday next week. This is irrelevant to the video.
No, that's interesting. It's interesting to me.
And my favourite drum room at the moment is this boathouse.
Okay, cool.
It's not a studio. It's where they keep all their canoes for this lake. And it's this big wooden box. It's a timber frame building. All the walls are just stacked timbers. And it's just all timber. It's raised off the ground on timber. It's massive. It's got this angled ceiling. It's all a weird shape. And oh my God, does it sound good?
Really?
I remember walking in there and I was like, I said to my friend, I was like, I got to shoot a video in here one day. And he was like, sure.
Amazing.
But yeah, I cleared all the stuff out. I shot a video in there and it's been my favorite drum sound I've ever had. I don't know about you, but if I play drums in a bad sounding room, I feel like a bad drummer. Like when my snare sounds thin or when all I hear is reflection of noisy cymbals.
You don't want to hit it harder because like I get more of that.
I'm just like,
noise.
man, I sound awful. Do I suck? But when I play in a room like that, cymbals are all dampened by all the timber. They're not slapping back. Snares coming back all tubby and powerful and big and beefy. I'm just like, man, I sound good in here. And then you kind of, I feel like a better drummer. I play better. I enjoy it more. But yeah, I shot a video in there and it's been my favorite drum sound since. So now I've got this recording session I need to do. And I'm like, hey, can I come back? And he's like, you can. But he's given me the room for free for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
I engineer now. So all the mics are my own mics. Everything is mine. I'll set it up. I don't need an engineer. I work very closely with Nick Sampson, my mix engineer. Still got to pay him. But like, you know what I mean? Then it's like the homie hookup. And as well as that, it's like, he understands what I do. So it's not stressful. Like, you know, I really need this sort of sound. I can just give it to him. He does his thing. My camera guy, Jish, he's like one of my best friends. You know, if I need a video, I just ring him up and he'll come down. Depending on how stressful the video is, it's proper homie hookups.
Amazing.
And then you can batch them. Then I can do multiple videos in a day. So you start to get to that point. Oh, and then I edit the videos myself now. Okay. That's a newer thing. Since I started to be YouTuber, Chris, and do like, it's since I did the world's first double pedal video where I'm like a presenter and a drummer.
Yeah.
That was my first video I edited on DaVinci. I was all proud. But like, I can cut the videos together now. So it's kind of, at this point, it's affordable because it's the boys, you know what I mean? But in the early days, I was like, this is a huge task. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. There was a lot of waiting for people, to edit the videos and a lot of waiting and bugging them and like, can you make these changes now? And then it wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't love a lot of the results. So I was resistant to doing it. But the point I'm at now, I really enjoy it. The new era that I'm doing of this like YouTuber Chris, I'm really enjoying that. Because that's me all over. Like,
yeah, the more you,
it's having fun with drums, and you clearly tell from this past half hour, I just enjoy having fun with drums. So it's like that's my 2 favorite things mixed. Yeah, and it's achievable now because of the reasons I just said. So it's like it works for me now. Yeah, but in the early days, I just was like, I'm just on tour all the time. I haven't even got time. I'm on tour less now as well. I got more time. Nice balance.
And to go from 0 to YouTube there's a leap of stuff to learn. And I guess the fear initially might be, well, the more I'm doing this other stuff, the less actual drumming I'm doing to make the thing happen.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because it's like both, isn't it? Because like the world's first double pedal video, I don't know if you saw that one, but it was all janky. And that made me do this double hi-hat thing, which then got me thinking about this pattern, which then led to my latest song. So it's like, it's actually challenged me in other ways. And I'm still learning a lot about that. Like I'm learning how to be a fun, engaging presenter, and it's like just the next thing that I'm learning. So for me, it's all part of the fun. I don't think it's like, oh, the learning has stopped. It's just the next thing, isn't it?
The next thing.
And that helps with drum shows as well now, because my performances at drum shows are so different now because I'm talking normally. I'm not like, I'm going to play a song now. Did you enjoy that? Thank you. Like, it's like, the way I interact at drum shows, like the guys at DW said after I played PASIC last year, they were like, that was so fun. You were so fun to talk to and watch and engaging. And I was like, it's all part of the bigger picture. I thank YouTube for that. But yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
I want to talk briefly about double kicks.
Oh, now, let's go.
I'm shit at double kicks. I'm pretty fucking average. I mean, I was in a heavy rock band. I was in like a ska punk band. So I only really use them for fills or like just to beef up some like 6/8 chorus. Fine. Right. Okay. I took my double kicks to a gig and the drummer from Sponge was like, that's cheating. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's shit. You should be able to do everything with 1 foot. Like, there's a physical limitation at some point to 1 foot. What? I know.
What?
So, yeah, I was like, but I didn't have the intellect to be able to back up why. No, this is just, it's
Hang on, are you using 2 drumsticks?
Yeah, but this is it. It's like, are you miking up your drums? No. You should be doing that as loud as you can so everyone in the room hears it.
Man, it's an acoustic instrument. No disrespect to you, friend, but in my opinion, if it's an acoustic instrument and if you can produce this sound, then
Great.
yeah,
Power to you.
cool. You did the thing. That's cool. I don't know about that one.
But anyway, so what my interest is though is, so I have a shit left leg because most of my right leg's doing all the drumming. If someone's looking from that perspective, which I think most might be, if they're going, oh, I'm going to now learn double kicks. Do you think it's better for them to learn, like strengthen up the left leg first and then lock them in and start doing it? Or is it good to try from this point on, do 50-50 on both? Or do you have any insights on that?
A lot of what you just said and a lot more. Okay. But you're on the right lines for sure. One thing that a lot of people do is, like you said, grow up using your right leg as your kick leg. So you develop a lot of things within that. You develop coordination between your right leg and your right foot. These sort of get like puppeted up, a little string like that. And you rarely sort of play snare. I mean, unless you're doing 4 on the floor, but you rarely do left hand and right foot. More to the point, you much more rarely do left hand and left foot and right hand and left foot. And it's a lot of coordination. And things that come with coordination are important as well, such as confidence and technique. You won't play that left foot with power. You won't play those powerful kick drums when you're laying into your 4 on the floor and feeling it. You're not going to do that with your left leg because you're unsure of it. Yeah. And it will be flamming against the snare and it will be a little weird. So there's a lot of ingredients that need to develop to have, I guess the summary is to have a powerful left leg, but to actually have it as a functional part of your drumming, you have to work on all of this stuff. Yeah. And so, yeah, building coordination is the first one. You don't even need a double pedal for this. Just get it on your pedaled hi-hat and working things like that. And taking the same journey that you took with your right leg without realizing, you have to relive that a bit. And then when your left leg you can compute, you can use all 4 limbs together, get on the double pedal and then start building up that confidence to play and that technique to play with power, with conviction, with dynamics. And then you can start looking, right, okay, I want to get this double kick stuff down, and you can start to put them together then. But I think what most people do is they have their right leg at this level, if I'm going to be really random about brash about it, gotcha. And their left leg at this level, and then they jump on the double pedal and then they say, hey, why is my left leg weak? Yeah. I think you need to get that left leg. You'll never get it the same, but you want to get it up there. Yeah. Then jump on the double pedal and start, you know what I mean?
And then there's a thing about unison is key as well. If you want to be good and proficient. I remember when I had like a year and a half of drumming. I was like, I can play beats. And I had a new teacher. He's like, play something. And I was like, I'm going to impress him with this. And he's like, okay, let's do a unison exercise. It's literally that. And I couldn't do it without a little flam. I was like, oh, okay, there's levels to this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I teach that a lot. I teach all the double kick stuff on pad and on the floor. So they're stamping on the floor and playing on a pad because it's such a like slappy, transient, heavy, little spiky sound. You hear the tiniest little flams. You'll hear a flam at like 20 milliseconds, like a real tight flam. And when you start sharpening that up, and then similar, you'll hear a flam against the click. When you start sharpening all that up, and then you get on the kit, you start to get real accurate. It's real fun. Yeah. Yeah, I like that stuff.
Endless, yeah, I was just saying, it's endless stuff to learn, but also to improve. Like honing stuff is kind of an endless goal as well. I guess on a higher level though, what is your, I guess, insights to, if anyone's looking to be a professional drummer in the current era, what are the challenges of doing that? And is there a way of doing that successfully without doing things like understanding how to use social media and all the rest of it? Can you just go like, there is a path to be a great drummer for great drummer's sake, and then that will develop into a career and it will be financially viable? Or is that very difficult to do just on its own?
I think that's a big question. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's very difficult, because that almost suggests that like, oh yeah, unless you're in the top few % of big drummers, you're not going to be making good money. Like, no, there's actually a very big industry and there's a lot of work out there. It's like, it's not that sparse. Do you know what I mean? But it's not, I'm not saying that, oh, there's so much work, just like jump in and you're going to be making it. It's just sort of in the middle of both of those things, I think. Right. I think the way in, there's an infinite amount of ways in. There's literally an infinite amount of ways in. It could be that you're a very new drummer, you're not that good at drumming, but your best friend is the front of house for this act that it's very simple drumming, and their drummer can't get a visa or something, and you get thrown in. I see that happen all the time. What? And it's like a pretty new drummer ripping these huge tours, getting massive paychecks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, but I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, make sure you're best friends with a front of house engineer for a big band. But I'm just saying there's an infinite amount of ways in. I think the only way that's like tried and tested, if you will, is to just put yourself out there, be good at what you do, be nice. You know, people want to work with nice people. And just start developing that reputation, whether it's in person or online. But at the end of the day, if it's someone that they can trust, then they're going to trust you, aren't they? That's the only tried and tested way. But the specifics, yeah, infinite amount of ways.
I guess as the last question, you alluded to this earlier, because there's other drummers you'll see and be inspired by. Who do you see in the modern world that you go, fucking hell, they are an absolute god of the drums that inspire you in a big way?
Oh, right. There is a lot of names, really. There's a lot of names. I'm not exclusively obsessed with one drummer. I think that was a thing of the past, when it was like there wasn't every drummer on the internet, and it was like, oh, this is the guy with the video. Like,
Yes.
that was when, I think that's when it was more, you could idolize people easier, because it's like, oh yeah, they have the drum video and they did the thing and they're really cool. I think now that because it's so accessible with the internet and there's so many great players, and I'm sure there were so many great players in their garage before, but now you can see that online, that I can't put one name on it. There's a lot of people out there doing crazy stuff and putting it on the internet, and it's wildly inspiring. So yeah, I don't think I can give you a name.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really don't think I can.
Well, I found this to be wildly inspiring. So thank you very much for your time.
Man,
It's been a
thank you.
pleasure to chat all things drums with yourself. So
It's been a
cheers.
pleasure to chat to you.
Appreciate it. Well, I really enjoyed having that conversation there with the incredible Chris Turner. What a joy that was. I'll make sure to add some links, as ever, to the description of this episode so you can follow them on social media and see what they're doing in future as well. If you enjoyed this, also make sure you're subscribed to this very channel or podcast. There's many more interesting interviews coming up with incredible artists in future as well. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you'll come back for another one of these very soon.